Hello guys, it's Gemma3rd here doing another Bottleman unboxing. This time we have Sphinx G. Another remake. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but this one's at least a little bit more interesting. It has its own unique caps, like, so that's kind of cool. Sides are just talking about, like, the caps and stuff. All the different ones, which is kind of cool. This one's just kind of whatever. The back is a little bit interesting. I actually want to point something out on the back here, and that is the stats. So usually there's 5 stats. This one has 6, and has kind of a special stat or whatever. Talking about the curve shot, I wanted to mention that in particular because now I haven't tested this thing yet, and I will test it before we get to the next part of the video. But I'm a little bit concerned about the performance of this thing if it has its own special stat, and everything else is kind of low. So we'll see how good this thing is. I'm imagining not the best, but still could be just a fun Bottleman to mess with. So if it is, then I will let you know. But for now, I'm just checking out the contents of the package, which I'll get to now. So let's just go ahead, grab everything. Okay. So we do, of course, have the instructions and stickers. That's gonna be a bad time. That is 26 stickers. Okay. Not what I was hoping for, but whatever. Then we have this. This looks like the core. We have kind of the armor and whatnot, the trigger. Alright, cool. And the caps. Oh, does this come with multiple caps or something? Seems like it. I didn't know that. Or did I know that and I just forgot? I don't know. Well, regardless, it apparently seems like it comes with 4 caps. At least based on how much of each stuff. I mean, that would make sense. And also the cap for the head there, so... Okay, that was actually a bit of a surprise. I either just forgot about that or didn't know about that. I'm assuming I just forgot about it, but yeah. So, 4 caps. That's actually pretty nice. So I'll go ahead and assemble this, put all the stickers on painstakingly. Because I also have Cola OG to sticker up, so anyway. Yeah, I'll go and do that, and then also test it for a while. Let's see how the cap works and whatnot, and come back and talk about it, so, yeah. Alright, everything put together and stickered up, so here is Sphinx G, and, focus is always difficult with some of these, but yeah. Sphinx G, yeah, it is like a Deca Tiger G recolor, obviously, but, it does look cool. I like how it looks, I like the horns and stuff, you know, it's a nice, nice looking Bottleman, I would say. There's the cap there, if I could get that. There we go. Yeah, it's a pretty nice remake overall. I like how it looks, and I guess comparing it to Deca Tiger G as well, you'd see that, yeah, there are a lot of similarities. It's like the same sculpt and everything. However, the head is different. These ear parts are replaced with horns. That's the main difference anyway, so yeah. No other notable differences outside of the color, so yeah. Also the cap, obviously. Vertical cap. Let me have this new, like, curved cap. So anyway. So how is this cap? How is this Bottleman? That's kind of the main thing we want to talk about here. So, first up, this Bottleman, well, has a lot of the same problems as Deca Tiger G. Well, the same 2 main ones. The first thing is just the God Cap system itself. I really hate the fact that I've had to mention this every single God Cap video I do. Like, it has to be tiring to hear if you watch all these, but God Cap quality control just sucks. They don't feel nearly as good to shoot. Not even close to DX in terms of how they feel to shoot. It's just worse. The plastic also just doesn't feel as great, so that's, again, just a problem that I've had for months at this point. Also, with Deca Tiger G, the head, it feels like if I push too hard on this, it's gonna like break either the whole parts or the cap. Something's gonna break when you're firing this thing, I feel like, so I never push down as hard. I just kind of hold it down a little bit sometimes to, like, I guess make sure the, because when you shoot, there's, like, you know, obviously, you can kind of see, like, this part to some degree, you can kind of see that. It bends up a little bit. Sometimes I hold that down to try and like make it not go up as much so you have more tension. I just kind of do that to make sure it doesn't... Well, I guess to make it more powerful, but also just... I don't push it down all the way because then, yeah, it does feel like something's going to break. I just could not get that sentence out for some reason. Anyway, there's another problem I noticed with this one in particular. I don't know if this is a Deca Tiger G quality control issue that I just happened to miss last time because my other one's fine, I guess. Or if this is a new Sphinx issue. This thing, like I would say 20% of the time, it just doesn't fire properly. The cap just like falls out basically. Like, like what happened there? I don't know if this is a quality control issue with mine in particular, but yeah, a lot of times when I fire this thing, well not a lot, but like enough times when I fire this thing, the cap just comes out ridiculously weak. I don't know if that's the cap, this thing, you know, and if it is this thing, is it mine in particular that's just messed up, or is it a more widespread issue? I don't know, but sometimes this cap just like falls out almost. It has like no power on it at all. Again, that might just be a one-off thing, but if not, I would not be surprised. Again, Godcap quality control has just been abysmal, so would not be surprised if this is a widespread issue. If you do have this guy, let me know. I would like to know if this is a more widespread issue with other people than just me. So anyway, as far as this guy goes, it's just a recolor, so it's not much to talk about. The main thing here are the caps, and now you do get 4 of them, like I was kind of shocked about earlier, but yeah, you do get 4 of these types of caps here. So you could see. They do look really cool. I like them a lot. I don't know if that issue is with these in particular. I don't think it is. I think that these caps work fine in general, but yeah, I mean as caps, I mean they fire fine. Like they're just not overly great. I feel like shooting them horizontally, just use like other caps. Honestly, like these aren't meant to be horizontal. Shooting them vertically, while they're kind of interesting, I feel like the curve effect isn't good enough on this. I would much rather have a curve effect that is stronger, or just use a vertical cap. I just don't feel like these are quite there. You can see the cap actually inside the thing, but yeah. I don't know, I just feel like the problem with the curve effect is that I feel like they went for too much of a balance. They wanted it to curve, but they still wanted it to be accurate enough. That was the problem. This thing, it needed to have like so much rubber and just drift that it was going to completely like veer off course. It was going to go straight and then just kind of completely go off course. It like kind of just goes and like kind of starts to go off, but it doesn't... It's not a strong enough effect. It just feels like it's honestly inaccurate. Like when you could choose which way you want to put it in. You could put it in like left or right, but it just kind of veers off to one of the sides. It doesn't... It's almost like using a normal cap in a vertical shooter, but with a slightly stronger curve effect. Like with a normal cap, yeah, they veer off eventually. This one, it starts to veer off a bit sooner, but it's not overly crazy. I just don't, again, unless it's just mine, but I don't think it is. The effect just doesn't feel strong enough on this thing. Again, had it really gone to one side, well, yeah, it's not going to be a great Bottleman overall. Because, again, that's not what you would generally want. You don't really want a curve shot that you can't do anything about, but, it could have still been, you know, a nice gimmick at least. But without that, it's just kind of relegated to, like... nothing. Like, I would just rather use a vertical cap and have more consistent shots. The other thing about this thing is that it does have a drive strip on the bottom, technically, but I don't really feel a difference with that thing because, like, again, this thing just doesn't shoot well. Again, that might just be mine, but still I don't really feel a difference on Sphinx, but whatever. Overall, this thing, I almost just feel like it's a worse Deca Tiger. I'd rather just get Deca Tiger G. It has its issues, but the vertical cap to me is much more desirable. And while yes, it has been re-released on Cola OG, Cola OG is expensive, so I think Deca Tiger G is just a better purchase overall. This thing, it just doesn't do much. That's all there is to it. It just doesn't do much at all, and that's all I can really say about it. It just exists, and that's kind of it. And yeah, there's a lot of issues with it. Again, I already talked about a lot of them, so yeah, I mean, I wasn't wrong in the beginning of the video. I said that the stats were probably going to be a problem, and yeah, there's no merit to this thing outside of the curve shots, and the curve shots aren't even that great. So, and like, even to begin with, curve shots aren't that effective of a gimmick. I never think that they, like, I just never thought they were, but like, with this, it's like, okay, come on, if you're gonna do curve shots as a gimmick, at least make it curve, you know, and not just like drift. But yeah, outside of that, if you are a collector and you don't care about firing these things, this is a pretty solid pickup if you are a Beat'em fan, because again, Beat'em remakes are cool for, you know, collectors, I'd say. So I think overall, for that, it's pretty nice. You know, another remake. I know I'm not the biggest fan of remakes. I do think remakes have been horribly overdone at this point, but this one I give a bit more of a pass to, because you already had, you know, Phoenix, Wyvern, Cerberus. I feel like you kind of needed a Sphinx just to finish things off, so I'll allow this one. I guess I mean, it's another remake, so I'm not the happiest about it. But again, I'm not going to be up in arms like with some other ones. It's not like a Bottle Wyvern G situation. I can at least understand this one. But yeah, overall, for a collector's item for Beat'em fans, yeah, this thing it's pretty solid. But for anyone else who just wants to use this thing, yeah, I just say skip this one. If you got Deku Tiger G, you got the better one. If you didn't get either of them, and you want one of them, just get Deku Tiger G. This thing's just not worth it, overall, so. Yeah, not the best, but again, curve shots are never really the best gimmick, so. And this isn't too surprising, even if the curve shot was better. Yeah, let me know if you have a different opinion. It's always interesting to hear, but for me, not my favorite Bottleman release, but it at least looks cool, and I do test things for these videos and also like rankings and stuff, but like outside of that, generally going to leave this thing on display. And for that, you know, it does its job, and that's all I could ask for, I guess, well, not all I could ask for, but it's something I could ask for, and they delivered on that front at least, so it's something. So anyways, that's all for this video, so yeah, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.